Welcome to our thought for the day for Friday the 22nd of May. And I'm going to begin with some words from Matthew 6 and verses 25 to 27, where Jesus said this. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they? Can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? As lockdown has been eased a little and is likely to be eased further, one of the overriding emotions in our culture at the moment seems to be fear. Parents, quite rightly in one sense, are concerned about the potential consequences of sending their children back to school and are wrestling with that difficult decision. Schools, of course, are doing all they can to minimise that risk. Others are very worried about not sending their children back to school, especially in inner city areas, as schools are places of space and safety. There also seems to be greater fear amongst some older people, those who are the most vulnerable, about going out and coming into contact with others. You sense fear has increased as we are allowed to do just a little bit more. The overall narrative seems to be we cannot get back to normal until we are 100% safe, until there is at least a vaccine. I think another way of looking at it is what level of risk are we prepared to accept? Nothing is risk-free. We can only minimise the risk. Professor Carol Sikora, a cancer specialist, talks about fear being one of our greatest enemies at the moment. He points out that in countries where the lockdown has been eased, there's not been a second spike. He also highlights the effects of our mental health, especially those living in cramped conditions. He's also concerned that people will not have been to hospital to check out symptoms for diseases like cancer, as they do not want to burden the NHS at this time. In Matthew 6, Jesus encourages us not to be anxious, which of course is easier said than done. Anxiety, and in times like this, high anxiety, is part of what it seems to be human. However, we also know that as we live in the complexities of the easing of lockdown, we can cast our anxieties onto the Lord and trust in Him. I wonder if we will place our trust once again in the Lord today. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? Thank you, and have a really wonderful day.